What if I told you there was a way for you to join the financial elite and get a 700 plus credit score? Well, you're in luck, because today's video, I'm going to break down your credit score, why it's important, and how you can maximize your credit score in as little as 30 days. First things first, let's understand what a credit score is. It's a 3-digit number ranging from 300 to 850 that lenders use to decide how likely you are to repay debt in a timely manner. Now, hitting that perfect 850 credit score is a very ambitious goal. However, anything over 740, you're getting the top tier credit ratings. That's why I say, hey, your goal shouldn't really be to get to the 850 club, but it's to maximize your credit score at the best of your ability. Step 1, it's going to be your payment history. This accounts for 35% of your credit score. That is a massive amount of your credit score. So whatever you do, make sure you're making that payment on time. Now, if you're watching this and you're saying, hey, accountability B, I've missed a payment, as you know, that missed payment actually stays on your credit score for about 7 years. If you stay tuned till the end, I'll give you a couple pointers on how you can actually overcome that. Step 2 is going to be your credit utilization. Now, if you don't know what that is, let's say that you have one credit card. That credit card has a $10,000 credit limit, and on that card, you've made purchases to the amount of $6,000. Well, your credit utilization would be 60% at that point in time. Now, most websites out there will tell you that you should keep your utilization under 30%, but even a better rule of thumb just to make sure that you're maximizing on this category is really to keep your utilization under 15% on all of your cards. When I say on all of your cards, if you have 5 cards that have $10,000 of available credit and you have $6,000 paid on one, well, now you have an extremely less of a utilization. Now, I say on all of your credit cards. So let's say that same scenario, or let's just break it down to simpler numbers, because 6,000 will give you something like 11 or 12% utilization. So let's say that you have 5 credit cards that have a $10,000 available credit. Your total available credit is $50,000. Well, if one of those cards has $5,000 charged onto it, your utilization is actually going to be 10%. That is a perfect range to be in. You're under that 30% and even less than that 15% that I recommend that you probably want to stay under to maximize that part of your score. All right, next up is credit age, and credit length definitely matters here. This makes up for about 15% of your score. Lenders do love to see you have a long, lengthy history with a creditor. And obviously, if you're watching this and you're very young, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks at the end of this video for you to maximize that credit age. But this accounts for about 15% of your credit score, and it gives you an average length of all of your accounts. Now, step number 4 is going to be your types of credit. So they want to see that you're mixing it up with not only credit cards, but also installment loans. That's going to be your car payment, your mortgage, different things of that nature. And they just want to see that you're able to handle and manage different forms of debt. And as we're moving down that ladder, that actually only makes up about 10% of your credit score. And lastly is new credit. And this is more commonly referred to as your inquiries. So banks do want to see that you've spaced out your inquiries. They don't want, it does send off red flags if you're applying for multiple credit cards and seeking lines of credit all in a short period of time. So that's something that you definitely want to avoid. That makes up for about 10% of your credit score. So those last two are some of the smaller ones, but to really make sure that you're getting that perfect score, you really want to maximize all of these areas of your credit score. Now, while getting a perfect score is the goal, we just want to make sure that we're getting above that 750 mark and making sure that we're getting the best interest rates on any loan or credit card that we take out to make sure that we're getting the best interest rates. Now, while it might be very aspirational to get a perfect 850 score, that really should not be the goal. If you get over a 740, you're going to get the top rated interest rates in anything that you're looking to purchase. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give you some cautionary tales that I wish I had followed when I was growing up. When you go out and you get approved for your first credit card, and let's say it's $5,000, you don't have $5,000. Now, maybe you do, but for the majority of people who get that type of access to credit, they go out, they spend it on things that they don't need because they think that they have $5,000, and then they get caught up and they can't make the payments on time and their utilization shoots through the roof and it damages their credit score immensely. So before starting on my journey, I had about a 620 credit score and have now risen that all the way up to a 760, 780. I've gotten it all the way up to 799 before, but never actually hit that 800 mark. So I'm gonna give you 3 different pointers that you need to be doing to make sure that you're maximizing your credit. 1, your payment history. Remember when I said that if you missed a payment, that would stay on your credit report for 7 years? Well, that is definitely true. And the only thing that really is going to affect this is time. However, what you can do is call that creditor and ask for some leniency. Hey, I was going through a tough time in the past, and they might actually be able to go ahead and remove that late payment for you. Removing 1 late payment can improve your score drastically. If you have any collections on your account, what you want to do with collection accounts, and I did this several times when I had about 2 or 3, I think there was hospital bills and things of that nature. What you want to do is you want to contact those creditors and say, hey, I will pay you a settlement amount of X in exchange for you all removing this from my credit report. Now, there are people that will try to play hardball, but the bottom line is they have written this debt off and now it's with a collection agency and they've now reported it on your credit. So you have a lot of the leverage here. Before you make that call, make sure you have the actual money to pay that debt. And let's say the debt was $1,000. You want to go in and say, hey, I will pay you $400 right now to settle this debt for you completely. And in exchange, I need you to remove it from my credit report. I've done this 3 to 4 times in my life and it's worked out tremendously. Make sure you're negotiating, taking care of those collection accounts, but not just paying the collection accounts. Make sure you're actually negotiating that they remove it from your credit report, and that will increase your score immensely. And last but not least, the one Jedi trick that really is going to be able to help you out is finding an aunt, uncle, brother, sister, family member, parents that have had a nice, long, lengthy credit history, have made good payments, and that maybe have some lines of credit. And what you want to do is you want to be added as an authorized user. Why you want to do this is because when you are added as an authorized user, you actually inherit all of that good history that they have. Now, do not go and ask the wrong relative who has absolutely horrible credit, because it will negatively affect you the opposite way on that. So personally, I would say, hey, I don't even need a credit card. I just want to be added to this, because obviously this is someone's credit. So they are going to be a little particular about who they are adding as an authorized user. However, if you say, hey, I don't need the card, I just want to be added as an authorized user, this one simple trick can increase your score from anywhere to 50 to 100 points if you actually have the right person that has a mixture of credit, good payment history, and a long, lengthy credit history. It can improve your score tremendously. Now, my good old Papa Dave would tell you, hey, you don't need a credit score.
I have a credit card. You don't have a credit card? I don't have a credit card.
Ultimately, there are going to be things in our life that we are going to finance, whether that be a mortgage, whether that be a car, and we can debate if we think those are the most advantageous ways to get those type of things. But having a great credit score is something that absolutely can help you in the future. Where people get caught up is when they try to over leverage themselves and use their credit cards as little payaway plans when you don't have the money. Responsibly use your credit cards, and they can be used as a good vehicle for you to use debt in a healthy manner. So being able to maximize those 5 categories, your payment history, your total debt, your length of credit history, your new credit, and your type of credit, your credit mixture, are going to yield you the best score that you can humanly possibly get. And as long as you're continuing to work on those 5 categories, that 800 score is right around the corner for you. Listen, I'm a growing YouTuber. I'm trying to grow my channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you got value from this and you'd like to see more content like this. Please go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you think might be in need of this information. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.